Today's video is a little bit different. I wanted to go to a quiet space and just kind of talk and give you my thoughts on today's video. I've been going to bed at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., even sometimes 4 a.m. lately. And I'm not a night owl, usually. I like to go to bed around 10, 11 p.m. for the most part. And, I still get my 7 to 8 hours. Like, I'm going to bed at 3, waking up at like 11. And it feels kind of off. And I know some of you may be able to relate to that. But I think what really prompted the video today was this morning when I woke up, I felt really ashamed. And I felt really mad at myself for not waking up and not at the right time and not going to bed at the right time. And I took my shower, I got ready, I went to the gym, and after the gym, did some grocery shopping, got a car wash, I did some journaling, and I read a few pages, and now I'm here making this video. And right before I turned on the camera, I really was like thinking deeply and reflecting, especially when journaling. And I think we're really mean to ourselves. I think we tend to bully ourselves a lot. We're our own worst critic, and especially in the self-improvement space, business, all that kind of stuff, fitness, we're so hard on ourselves to the point that if we don't have things perfect and we don't do things perfect 100% of the time, we think we're failures. And that's how I was feeling today. The past few days, I've been going to bed really late and waking up kind of late. And, I was disappointed in myself. But then I realized I can still make today a win. And I think that's the frame of mind that we need to have. Even if you screw up, let's say you're out late one night with friends, you drink a little bit too much and you get hungover, or you make some mistakes or whatever, right? You go to bed too late, you wake up too late, whatever it is. Maybe you go over your calories for the day, or you eat way too much, or you skipped a workout, or whatever the case may be. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. Instead of being so critical and so like you're a bully to yourself, instead of being like that, treat yourself like a child in a way. Tell yourself, yes, I acknowledge that I didn't do what I said I was going to do, or I took it too far, or I did a quote-unquote bad thing. But I forgive myself for it, and I'm going to still make today a win. Today I still went and hit my workout. I was exhausted. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to go to the gym, but I still went. I did the grocery shopping I had to do, still did my journaling, did my reading, and now I'm doing my filming. And I think that we're just all too hard on ourselves, and it's just wrong. I think that we need to be kinder to ourselves, and we need to forgive ourselves for when we make mistakes, because nobody is perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect. It doesn't exist. And so trying to put yourself to this standard of being perfect when it doesn't exist, it just doesn't make sense. And we see all these people on social media, the entrepreneurs and the influencers and the gurus and all that stuff, and you feel like you have to meet their standards. But they're not you, and you're not them. You only meet your own standards. And sometimes those standards can't be met every single day, 24/7, 365. Like, you can't. You're a human being. You're going to have those, few day benders, and you're going to have those, late nights, and you're going to have days that you just lack the discipline and willpower. It's just going to happen, because I don't care what anybody says. You're a human being, and you're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to disappoint yourself sometimes, and you're not going to be, you're not going to be perfect. And I'm sick of myself and other people beating themselves up over something that's, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. And so my message to you is kind of kind of the throwback to my other video of taking the pressure off of yourself. Take the damn pressure off of yourself, bro. Like, I don't know who you think you need to prove your worth to, except yourself. You should only prove it to yourself. And at the end of the day, not every single fucking day you'll be able to prove it. Not every day will you be able to execute 100% of your latent ability and your discipline and all that stuff. There will be days where you'll fuck up. You need to understand that. You need to accept that. And when those days come, do not beat yourself up over it. Do not fucking go haywire. And, like, for example, people, like for myself, for example, people who are dieting or you know, trying to cut or whatever, they're in a calorie deficit, and one day they go over the calories, maybe a little bit too much, right? You maybe have a late night with some friends and you go 1,000+ calories over, okay? The next day you decide to be super strict, and then it's just a yo-yo cycle of BS. Don't do that. You understand that you fucked up, sure. And then the next day you go through your plan like you usually do. You don't try to compensate for the calories that you ate by subtracting more the next day. That doesn't make sense. So keep that frame of mind in everything that you do or don't do. If you fuck up, don't try to compensate for it by being too hard on yourself. No, you accept it, you forgive yourself, you move on like you normally would. That's it. You don't need to be this perfect person, okay? You're fine just the way you are. Yeah, there may be improvements you need to make in some areas, sure. I know I do. But you need to stay true to who you are at the core. That's how you'll be happiest. If you try to be perfect and try to be like all these people you see online, you're never going to be happy or fulfilled, because you'll be going by a fake persona, and it's not the way to live. And so the moral of the story is, be nicer to yourself. Treat yourself how you would treat your family or your best friend or your lover. You wouldn't treat them like shit and be so hard on them if they fucked up once in a while. So be nice to yourself, please. Do yourself a favor and accept and forgive when these things happen, because they will. It's inevitable. Alright? So that will be it for today's video. I really wanted to get that out there because I know it's not just me. There are other people out there who deal with this all the time. And so that was my message to you, and I hope that you could take something away from this and start implementing more kindness into yourself, because we all know the world needs it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.